I care about the followers on the pages, but that's not my North Star, I guess you would say. That's not the most important thing to me. So we will have clients that will come to us and be like, oh, geez, like I only have like 500 followers. I don't give a shit. Right? What I care about is us reaching your audience. What I care about are the views, how many people are seeing your stuff.
Welcome back to the High Ticket AI Systems Podcast. Everyone, please welcome the one and only Mrs. Kat Flannery. Kat, welcome to the show today. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Of course. To give the audience and the people some context as to what Kat Flannery does, what the company does, and essentially who you guys serve best.
We're a full service digital marketing agency. So we have a great team here, and we also work with some really amazing partners. And yeah, that's basically what we do. Our number one feature here is social media marketing. And yeah, we offer everything to our clients. So yeah.
When you say social media marketing, because it could mean a lot of things for a lot of different people, what do you
Mhm.
mean when you say that?
I mean, everything. Like we run, we'll write your content, we'll put your content out, we do a strategy, right? We run ads, we answer questions for you. We become the client, basically, right? So the client can take that all off their plate and we take it over for them, right? And that just again just aligns with why I started Picco Press in the first place, right? It was to form relationships with other businesses, and that's the whole philosophy of Picco Press. We treat you like family. Like you sign on with us and your family. And I literally know, like, I'm so like close to all of the clients, and we have a lot of clients. I know them by name. I know their wives or their husbands. I know who their kids are, all of that. Right. But I've just always believed that how am I going to market a business if I don't know who they are? Right. And I need to know who you are.
No, what was life like before this? We're definitely going to circle back to treating customers and clients like family,
Yeah.
but I want to hear like how you get into this field exactly, because you
So
brought up like building relationships with businesses and stuff like that. Yeah, go for it.
So I was a writer for a long time. I actually wanted to be a journalist, but I'm Italian and I don't like being told what to do. So that didn't work for me. So there was that. So I didn't go into journalism, and I always felt like there was a piece of me that needed to tell stories. So I've always told stories ever since I was little. And so I became a writer. I've written 11 books. I signed with a publisher, did all of that, and did that for many years, right? Book signings and radio and podcasts and stuff like that, right? But ultimately, the best part about that job was just writing and hearing from readers, right? So I did that for a really long time, and I loved every bit of it. And there's still a piece of me that misses it, right? But I still write, and that is actually what kind of pushed me into the marketing aspect of what I do now. Because when I signed with my publisher, back then they were like, okay, we'll market you, right? But you've got to market yourself too. So you have to sell yourself as well. And I mean, shit, like I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Honest to God. Like back then I was like, what? Right. So I learned how to speak to people, and I learned about the three most important things, right? Is that what resonates with people is emotion, right? So you either make them happy, you make them sad, or you piss them off, right? Like there's those three things, right? And so when you're writing for people, you need to be able to hit those emotions and use your words so that they're in that story. And when I started marketing my books, I would talk to people all the time. I was being me, and that's how I did it. I was able to sell a lot of books. And so that kind of piqued my interest, right? And then from there, I worked for a few different marketing companies, and then I got my degree and yeah, started my own company.
That is super sick. And how long has the company been up and running?
6 years.
6 years. Congratulations. I know most businesses don't make it past 2, but you got 6. No, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
listen, whiskey. That's what I got to say, right? It's like that's the
Absolutely.
honest answer. My clients are going to watch this and they're going to be like, yes, yes, that's what we give her at Christmas. But
Guess what brand? What brand of whiskey?
do you want to know? Jameson, I
Yeah.
love. Yeah, I love Jameson, right? Any of it. Really, right? I don't care. It depends what kind of day it is, right? At that point, if it's been a really stressful day, I'll drink
Right. Anything that's next to me. I'm
yeah.
getting that those
So
days.
yeah,
No, for
but
sure. I feel like with the background in writing and being an author and still an author, I wonder how much that correlates into like writing like sales messages, or like writing content for your audience, or even for on behalf of clients.
Absolutely. So, like, as an author, you're writing for the reader, right? As a marketer, you're writing for the audience, right? And as a founder, you're writing for the client. Like, you're there for the client. So it all comes together, right? So for me, being able to write, that was like, I was never afraid of it. I was never afraid of writing ad copy. I was never afraid of writing any type of content because I knew how to speak to people. And the most important thing is understanding who their audience is and being able to speak to them. And like, we market for every type of different business, right? So that also goes hand in hand with what talked about before, was getting to know the client, right? So for example, if we're writing for social media, I need to know that audience and speak directly to them. And being a writer taught me how to be that reader, which means I can be the consumer and I can think about that first before I write.
Let's talk about that because what you're saying is so fucking important. It is so difficult for I think a lot of people to step inside the readers or audience shoes, or
Mhm.
they just completely skip that step and they just market whatever the hell that they're going to market. So if you maybe this process is already dialed in, it's like completely habitual. But if you could like think of a framework, like think about your step by step process when it comes to putting yourself in the audience's shoes, what does that look like for Kat?
Well, basically, like, if I'm a reader, right, or if I'm the writer and I'm writing books, I'm going to think about, like, okay, so for example, if I'm writing a book, a mystery book or whatever, I want to think about what's going to keep them engaged, right? What's going to keep them turning the page? I mean, listen, we all have short attention spans, right? So when you're picking up a book, the first reason they're picking up a book is to be taken to a different land, to escape whatever. They're either picking up the book for knowledge or whatever, right? I wrote fiction. So the goal was to take them out of the world and put them in somebody else's world, right? So how are you going to keep them like flipping through 310 pages? Right? So what's the goal? You need to have a plot and you need to have steps, and that's how you build that story. It's no different when you market, right? As a consumer, when I sit and go, and that is the one philosophy that I drive home with my staff all the time, like with my team. You cannot market if you don't know what the consumer wants. You have to know. You have to be able to say, okay, stop. If I'm scrolling on social media and, we're marketing for, I don't know, a skin clinic or whatever, right? And we come across this ad and it doesn't do anything for me. Well, if it's not doing anything for me, it sure as hell isn't doing anything for anybody else, right? So what's going to make you stop? And that's the most important thing. What's going to make you stop? What's going to make you read it? What's going to make you click it? What? And it comes back to those three emotions, right? Make them feel something. You know, do you have bad skin? Right? Do you deal with acne? Do you deal with this? Do you talk to them, solve their problem for them? And that's
What
how,
you're
right?
No, absolutely. What you're describing is like open loops in the book. Because if it's a long message, you have to have
Mhm.
open, keep them engaged. And then the intro to the ad is like a hook, right? And
Yes,
not like you said, short attention spans are like fucking like 0.7 seconds nowadays. So
literally. Yeah.
if you're not immediately grabbing attention with either pain, like a curiosity statement or emotion, typically in emotion, then like the ad is essentially wasteful.
It's
When
wasteful.
yeah.
Yes.
What type of do you work nationally or not nationally? What's the word I'm looking for? Globally, thank you. Globally, or do you work with people in your own backyard?
No, we have people in our own backyard. We have clients in Mexico. We have clients in the United States as well. So
So global.
Canada, United States, Mexico. We'll take anybody from anywhere. It doesn't matter, right?
Cool.
Yeah, you can market from anywhere. Yeah.
When you are marketing for these clients, are you typically doing organic posts or are you doing paid media as well, like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok?
So we do both, right? It depends on the client, right? And it depends on what the client's needs are. And so that's the difference, right? So when it comes to social media, you need to have, as a business, you need to have a social media presence, right? Like, I mean, everybody is on their phone. It's crazy, right? So usually they see you in social media, they go to your website, or they see your website, they go to your social media. There's kind of like a thing, right? But and then some clients, yeah, we just run ads for them on social media as well. It just depends. There's, at Pico Press, like I have a different philosophy. I don't really, I care about the followers on the pages but I don't, that's not my North Star, I guess you would say. That's not the most important thing to me. So we will have clients that will come to us and be like, oh, geez, like I only have like 500 followers. I don't give a shit. Right. What I care about is us reaching your audience. What I care about are the views, how many people are seeing your stuff. Like nowadays in the world that we live in, like you and I just spoke about, we have people's attention span are like nil. Right. So a lot of people don't follow pages anymore, right? They ghost follow pages. And meaning if we show up in their algorithm and they see your stuff, that's important to me because they may see your stuff a couple times and then they may go to the website and buy your product, right? You may never know because they're not right. Exactly. And that's something that a lot of people, they've all been trained to think like these businesses, and it's not their fault. This is not their job. They're like, oh, we need so many followers and we need this and we need this. That is not Pico Press's most important thing. It is important, but that is not what I judge success on. Right. And I've
Yeah,
seen it. So
my mistake. A lot of companies, maybe myself in as well, get so caught up in vanity metrics,
yes,
follower, view count, like shit that doesn't really matter. But what actually matters from that piece of content is like, did we drive traffic to our website? And then did we get
yes,
people to convert on our website and like actually pay us and drive revenue? Like I'm not a straight shooter, but like I want to know how much revenue we drove from the efforts we put in here, right? Not followers or
absolutely.
vanity metrics, as one might say.
I agree 100% with you.
How has that been from being an author for writing 11 books, which is fucking so incredible to me, to stepping into a position of like CEO and founder? Like, was that a wild gap there? Like, were there skills you had to pick up? Like, what was that transition like?
Yeah. I'm still learning, right? You never stop learning. That's the
Oh
thing, right?
yeah.
You
Then
are
you stop
always
learning
learning.
until you die.
Exactly, exactly. And I'm never going to know it all. And I'm never, ever, right? And so when I started my company, it was just me, right? I started it. I was doing it. I had, 5, 6 clients at the time. I was just rolling with it, doing it myself. Then it started to grow and then it started to grow. And then I was like, shit, I need help. So then I hired, right, some, part-time content creators and as it evolved, I evolved, right? I, as a leader, I am involved with my team. I'm not afraid to pick up and write content. I'm not afraid to say, if they come to me and say, like, I can't get this, I'm overwhelmed, I will help them. Like, I am always at their level. I am never higher than them, ever. Right. I'm always at their level. I'm always talking to them and I need them and want them to see that, their boss will sit down and we'll do content. Right. And we'll schedule if I need to and we'll do whatever because, we're all just a big team. Right. So it's been a little bit challenging at times, but you just power through it.
For sure, for sure. I like a leader that leads from the front. So there was this, I guess, quick story. My father was really hard on me, as he should have been, for baseball. I was really good, better than most kids, and he pushed me because he saw the potential. But he wasn't like in shape or like didn't do the things that he wanted me to do. So there was like this gap, and I'm like, you want me to do X, but you don't do X. So it was difficult for me. And then I got into this travel ball team. Shout out Terrence Frazier. I'm actually really close friends with his sons to this day. But anyways, he was the toughest coach I had. High praise. You did something right, he let you know. If you messed up, he also let you know that you just fucked up. And he would put us to the most challenging practices, the most challenging workouts. But he wasn't just like saying, hey, do this. He was doing the workout with us or doing the shit with us. He was in the trenches leading from the front. And I think, yeah, I can agree. Everyone would agree that fuck, he was hard, but we all respect him. Right. And I think what you're describing is like leading from the front. Like Cat's not afraid to get dirty, that on the weeds and actually write content and like do the dirty work of the business. And I think even if your team might have, I'm not saying this is true, but if anyone's team out there has like, oh, Cat's mean or Cat is this, Cat is that, like even for me, it's like, dude, but they work hard. And like I can see invisibly like fucking working hard and I can respect that for them. Or I can respect them because of that.
Mhm.
So I'm just not the biggest fan of like leaders saying to do this, but they don't
I
fucking
know.
like they work 4 hours
I
a week,
agree. I agree. Well, and you should always like I need to know what's going on in the company, right? Like I'm busy a lot. I'm very busy, right? So I'm in meetings or I'm running from here to there or whatever, right? There's a lot of back end things that I'm doing. But if you stay disconnected from your staff or your team, right, then you miss out on things. And that's why I go there. Like I'm constantly, walking into the bullpen. That's what we call it. They're all sitting in there, and I'm like, what are you guys doing? How's it going? Does anybody have questions? Right. And there's definitely like a chain. They go to, the person that's in charge of the staff and stuff like that. But they also know that they can come to me, and that's very important to me, right? And I give a shit. I care about every single one of them, just as I care about every single one of our clients.
And I think on that note, I think employees would much rather work for a type of company like that rather than like a ginormous, massive freaking corporation where they know they're just like a number in the system. Like you walking the floor, you having your one-on-ones, like getting to know your employees and like befriending them, like being cool with them, that goes such a freaking long way in like the retention rate of employees. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
would you
Well,
agree?
and the
Yeah.
thing is we've all worked for a shitty boss, right? Every one of us have been in a situation where we've had like a terrible boss, right? And you're all thinking like, God, like I can't wait to get out of this hellhole. Right? I don't want that for my staff. I don't. Like they are my family. I love them all. And, I want them to grow in their positions. I push them to grow, right? You want to take some courses? Go take them, right? You need help with that? We'll help you, right? Because and not only that, and I love to see them grow, but it also helps the company too. So we're all winning together.
I think a true leader is supposed to help your team grow, right? If you're like
Yeah.
allowing them to just be stagnant or like allowing them to like decline, I don't think you're actually doing service as a leader of the organization, you know? Circling back to treating employees and clients like family, what does that mean to you? And how does one go about that?
It means exactly like what I said. Like it means exactly what I said. Like honestly, I do get shit on a regular basis from like, business friends like, hey man, like you need to just like there needs to be space between you and the client.
Boundaries?
Like,
That's so
yeah,
funny.
what are you doing? Like no wonder you're running yourself around. But honestly, God, I wouldn't have the business I have today if it wasn't for my clients. And I know that. And I know that. And that's where the credit is due, right? Like when a client signs on with us, they become a part of our family. We become a part of theirs. Like I literally say to them, like, I'm a part of your team now. And sometimes the looks they give me are just like, what? Right. And then the next email they get is like, hey team, like, right? It's us, your new team members, right? But it's super important to me because how, like I said to you before, how am I supposed to market a company if the client can't talk openly to me and tell me their struggles? Right? What are you struggling with in your business? Right? How can we help you? And sometimes just by sitting and listening to them and them knowing that they can trust you.
Trust.
That's the most important thing is that they can trust us, right? And
It's just like,
and it's it's true.
yeah, so I was gonna say trust is probably the biggest thing that you're essentially like building with this client relationship because when it does go and get tough, right? They're paying you for your expertise. Okay.
Yes.
And when you want to go in direction A and they might want to go in direction B, hopefully we have built enough trust that they're gonna say, okay, I might take a step back and we're going down Kat's route A over here because I trust her and I trust her expertise. And I'm pretty sure it works out every single time whenever that does happen. Second thing I want to ask is what has been the I guess receptiveness from your clients when you are just being Kat, being who you are, treating them like family? Like, are they appreciative of that? Do they like that? Do they ever say like, Kat, like, chill out, dude,
Back
you're
off.
weird? Yeah. Or is it all love?
Honestly, they love it because
Yeah,
most of them have had a bad experience before, right? Where they've signed on with a company and then they never hear from them again and they're, $100,000 later, right? And
exactly.
and they don't have anything to show for it. The difference is, and you listen, I've sat in meetings with businesses that are shy, right? They're definitely gun shy. They will come right out and say, like, I don't trust you. I totally get that. And I say that, don't trust me. Let me prove that to you, right? Let me show you what we can do. Let me, I'm here at your service to talk to you, or you can text me. And a lot of times they go, what? Like I can text you. Yeah, you can text me. You can phone
Like,
me, right? I
yeah,
may not answer right away, but I will always get back to you. And
yeah.
if it's something that I feel like one of my team members can respond to, they will too. So most of the time it's always been receptive. And then once they really get to know like how it works, it's laid back. Like we are laid back. I'm sure you've seen that's my vibe. Like I swear I drink whiskey. Like I'm laid back. I really connect with the client based on that. Like, I'm not here to sell to you. I'm here to hear you, like to listen to you and talk to me. And then let's figure out a solution together. And they're like going back to what you said before, as the trust builds and as that relationship builds, and the reason we're so successful is because we've retained clients for the full 6 years. And that was always my goal. Marketing agencies tend to filter through clients, right? They filter through and they go through and they do their thing and whatever, right? And I never wanted that for my business. I wanted to be able to retain the client, to grow with the client, and that was how I positioned Pico Press. And with that, I've built those amazing relationships, right? Here's the other thing, shocking. I don't do contracts at
What do
all.
you mean? It's
I
just
don't do contracts.
so it's not even it is like a month-to-month engagement, just straight verbal?
No, they sign a contract. Like I guess they do sign a contract, but like they can cancel in 30 days. I don't make them sign up for a year. I don't make them no, because I want them like a lot. That's a big thing, right? A lot of people are like, I just handed over X amount of dollars. Now you want me to sign another contract and I don't know you and whatever, right? No, I'm going to prove to you that we're going to work for you. Right. And then I don't need a contract because we're a team together. And once they feel like you are actually a part of their team, they're not looking at it from you're working for us or they're not looking at it like that. I don't need a contract
Right, right.
because they phone me and go, hey, I need can you tell me why this isn't working? Or most times I tell them something's not working. We're shifting gears here or there. I always keep them in the loop. And that's why I don't need that.
Three things. One is you're a human. And in a very like sure remote world or professional setting, you cat are a human. And like, you're super laid back and they can get a sense that you're a real person. I know I said it 3 times, but like I'm trying to emphasize that you don't have to put on this mask, like your cat 24/7. And they trust that. Second thing is businesses always talk about like reducing their cost of acquisition. How can we essentially acquire clients for free? But that number has a floor. Can only be sure 0 in the best world ever. But LTV, your lifetime value, your client paying you for 6 freaking years, that number is infinite. Like they can pay you for 7 years and then 8 years. That number can always increase, right? So I think sure, is cost of acquisition and like acquisition strategy is important? Yes. But I think majority of the focus should be on keeping clients happy because it's so much easier to keep a client happy, in my opinion, than to go out there and find new business to a complete freaking stranger. You know what I mean? Just my 2 cents. The third thing is um, taking proactive leadership, right? When you said, "Hey, there's a problem with X, Y, Z. That's why it's not working. We're on the move to fix it." Or this strategy didn't work. Here are the results. We're going over here to optimize. Like, and
Hmm.
if you are just upfront and honest outside
Exactly.
of how Cat is on the day to day, by you being upfront and honest about business and like just what the fuck's going on, they respect you, they trust you, and they're going to continue to work with you because you're just authentic. You know.
Thank you. Well, the thing is yeah, like I'm always honest, and that's the one thing I tell them. Look, I'm never going to lie to you. I will not lie to you. You may not like what I have to say. And I say that you may not like what I have to say, the direction I'm going to push you in or whatever, but it's always for the success of your business. That is the one thing that is the most important aspect of this. It's always forefront in my mind. I'm always thinking about the client and their business, right? So, and the thing is honesty, yeah, shit. Like I'm always honest, right? And I've had to say, like, we fucked up. We fucked up, right?
Not a
And
good
it's
feeling, but it happens.
not a good feeling, right? It's not a good feeling. But I would rather have them hear that from me and here's the solution and what we're going to do to fix it and whatever, right? Than them find out on their own. Like, no, that's that whole relationship. It's like the good, the bad, the ugly, right? Like a marriage kind of thing, right? You got it all. And there's not a lot of ugly, it happens once in a while because like you said, we're human, right? But you have to be honest. You always have to be honest with your clients.
And I think approaching your client saying, "Hey, like we fucked up, but here's what we're doing to fix it." They're gonna be like, "Yeah, like thanks for telling me," opposed to trying to fucking sweep it under the fucking rug and just let shit fucking go. Like we are human, and I think just human beings understand that shit fucking happens. You know, at least tell me
Exactly.
about it so I can try to solve the problem with you, opposed to me sitting back and like, "What the fuck is going on, dude? Like this shit's fucked and nobody said shit." You know?
Well, and this is it. And you know what? So the worst part about it is 90% of the clients would never even know I'm not that person. When I say, like, I will always tell you the truth, I'm always going to tell you the truth, right? Because their job isn't marketing, right? But no, I'm going to be like, hey, fucked up. We're fixed it, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, okay, well, all right. It's fixed. Yep, it's fixed. Right. But yeah.
On that note, when you think about like the clients that you have worked with over the past 6 years and like some of the results that you've gotten them or some like a case study that comes to mind, what do you feel like comes up for you when you think about that? Like whenever we first signed them, they were doing X, we took over A, B, C, D, E, and now they're at Y.
Well, yeah, we have quite a few clients like that. Yeah, they started off as a, small business and now they're doing like millions. There's, it's amazing, right? We celebrate their wins. Like, sometimes they're like when they text us or I check in with them, if I haven't heard them for a while, I'm like, how's it going? How's things going? And they're like, oh my God, business is so great. Like immediately I'm like, fuck yeah, like awesome. Like I send the whole like, woo, like great. And we celebrate as a team together. And then we're excited for them. We're like just jazzed that you know, they're doing so well. So we have clients, like we have a client that they're getting almost 2 million views a month on social,
Jesus.
like their
A lot.
reach, and they are everywhere. They are everywhere. And the marketing that we're doing for them. And we have a client who was able to sell her business because she
Damn,
made so much money, right? Like those are the wins. I mean, sad to see her go, loved her to death, but so fucking excited for her,
you
right?
sure? Yeah.
And that's the point.
You might be this way, you might not be, but like for me internally, like I'm supposed to win. Like I'm supposed to do good stuff for the business. I'm supposed to help people win, like help my internal team win for sure. But when we help clients win, like I'm way more fucking excited about them
Dude,
winning than like me winning, you know?
100%. We're like dancing and yeah, I'm with you there. Like, absolutely. I'm just so excited. And then when I see them, I'm like, yay, right? And sometimes they're a little subdued, but like we're fucking stoked.
Question. Somebody else just told me about this and I thought it was a fantastic idea. I wonder if you do this, but whenever you are seeing clients in person, do you ever have like an interview, like 10, 15 minutes and use that for content, like a case study for like your company?
No, I've never done that. That is a good idea though.
Yeah, they said they do that like or once a year or twice a year. I don't know. But like, I'm like, that's actually such a good idea. Like
It is
meet
a
them in
great idea.
person, shake their hands, have like a 10, 15-minute chat about their experience. And like, it's great content for them and you know, I was like, shit, why am I
Yeah,
not doing that? So I
I
thought I'd throw
know.
it out there for you.
That's a great idea. I might have to put that into on the list.
No worries. Then I wish we had more time, but I always want to end on this one question here, Kat. Looking back over, professional life, author life, business life, what has been the single best piece of advice you've received? And you can take your time because it is kind of a deep question.
The best advice I've received was always shut up and listen. Shut up and listen. Listen to your client, listen to your staff, right? Yeah. Listen, you'll learn a lot if you just be quiet.
2 years in one mouth, right?
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Exactly. Nailed it. Yeah.
Where can they find you if they wanted to reach out to you directly or hit the website?
Yeah. They can reach out to us directly on the website. And they can on the Instagram, right? I believe it's my name with Picco Press on there. And then, yeah, no, absolutely. I welcome it. Ask me questions. I'm an open book.
Thanks for being an awesome guest and cussing with me, just having fun and shooting the shit. I laughed a ton, and I know you did as well. So thanks again for joining us.
This was awesome. Thanks so much for having me.
Of course. Audience, till next time.